What's crack, folks? Wednesday evening, just down here checking on the cows. So I was out on Sunday. You would have seen I was out spreading fertiliser across all the land here. But what you'll see behind me is, so you see there's a bit of grass on the paddocks anyway. It was starting to come on there before I even put out the fertiliser, obviously. But it's just not doing what it should be. This part of the land can be quite wet. It's very cold as well. And it can get kind of waterlogged during the winter, even though it is on a slope. You just get patches of it, so it doesn't always thrive the best sometimes in the winter, and with frost and different things like that. So I've spread out the fertiliser, and I'm just getting the cows to skin off the paddocks, and then they'll go back on bales at the end of the week. So I'm just giving them a day in each paddock as they go up along. They'll have them all cleaned off, and that actually helps promote fresh growth to come on. So you can see they've this paddock fully stripped out now, and we'll move them on up into this one. And as I said, you're kind of, you're taking away grass in yourself, but the grass will actually come on that bit quicker, that bit stronger by being pruned back now, and the fertiliser will start activating over the course of the next week or two, and then you'll have great grass by the end of April. Come on, gates open, let's go. Hold on. So they'll come on now, they'll follow me out here, and I'll shut the gate after them. And as I said, they're going to just clean off the paddocks. This helps promote growth to come. And as I said, in the meantime, the fertiliser will start activating and you get the benefit of it. I didn't put a massive amount out, obviously with the fact that I'm lacking slurry, or the usage of slurry here, because I don't have the likes of tanks up in the shed. Although I spread dung there a couple of weeks ago, I wasn't able to come down here because it's quite wet and quite heavy. You'd end up bogging the tractor or just destroying the paddocks. So that's why I have to do it this way. In an ideal world, I would rather have surplus slurry, have lots of it, and be able to put it out in the land. It's very beneficial if you can use it and use it right. I don't always like having to use chemical fertiliser, but needs must, and that's why I don't go fully organic or anything like that. As I say, I do over the classes regenerative style farming, but with a bit of a modern twist, and just common sense as you go. Do what you have to do, just don't overdo it. So you can see all the cattle are up there now, and they're enjoying that. And as I said, they're going to have the use of the land here for the week, and then we'll put them back on silage for a couple of weeks, let the grass catch on with us. We're having fantastic weather for the time of the year. This time last year I would have struggled to walk across the land here. We just had one of the worst winters last year with rainfall. But we're definitely having a way better spring this year. You can hear all the birds are really enjoying the weather. Spring is in motion, summer is coming, and the wildlife, the livestock, they all know it, and they're making good use of it, as are all the farmers around the place at the moment. A lot of tillage going on, even seeing some men cutting. So as I was saying, yeah, even see a couple of men cutting silage across Ireland at the moment. It's well for them, but with that they mightn't be getting very heavy crops of grass to make silage, but it's with the same idea I'm doing here. They're cleaning off the paddocks in order to promote fresh growth, get their slurry out, get their fertiliser out. They're going to have a great crop of grass then coming into the end of May. Get 8 weeks there, you'll have a serious crop of grass, and I would say that is most of them. That's what most of them men are at. Other men will be just out topping and the likes to help promote the grass, but it does really work. It's no different than your lawn at home. I'm sure everyone notices the more you cut it, the faster it grows. It's a similar kind of process to that. So you can see all the cows anyway out here behind me with the weanlings. So those of you who are wondering where the calves still with the cows, they are actually weaned. You can't see, but they have little nose rings on them, and that stops them sucking on the cows. So I castrated the calves, some of the bull calves there, and put the weaning rings on them going back a couple of weeks ago. So it means I can still run them as one pack, and or as one herd, should I say. And then the cows will be due to calve there in May. I calve very late here. It's just because it suits me. I haven't really the facilities I'd like to have. If I do manage to get a decent cattle shed up in the future, I would be bringing it right back. I'd be trying to calve them in the likes of probably January if I could. That would be the goal and the hope. So next order of business, you would have seen the video I put up there of James Conway off James's TikTok. You want to see James where he's most active? He's most active on the TikTok. Or of course go check him out on YouTube and Patreon. You would have seen I put up a post myself about today, or tonight should I say, and about the tariffs. And as you can see, the mainstream media are quite quiet literally. about the whole thing. They don't want to fret the people, they don't want to get them overly excited, but you would have also seen I put up a post not that long ago talking about the fact that the WHO and the European crisis management people and all that warning you of a 72-hour crisis, basically, maybe a potential very short-term lockdown. Who knows what's to come? I could say what I think, but sure, would any of you listen? I don't think so. But I have been saying all this for the last couple of years. The penny is dropping for some people. You're seeing how the world is completely turning over, and not for the better. Although an old recession wouldn't do Ireland any harm, put a bit of manners on some people. But yeah, there's probably some interesting times ahead this year. I said it there in January. 2025 is going to be a strange year for many different reasons. So just think about yourself long term. Think about how you can always look after yourself and be as independent as possible. So yes, with that, we'll just have to wait and see what happens with the tariffs and what Trump is going to announce later on tonight. And don't be expecting, I would say, a massive change overnight or an immediate change, but it's definitely going to affect things going on in the coming weeks and months. I would say no matter what happens, and if it's not to do with Trump, it's going to be to do with what's going on in Europe and so on. But other than that, I'm hoping to be back on with regular stories again now that we have the long evenings. I'll be out and about, and I'll have plenty of projects on. A lot of new followers to the pages lately, so we'll have to do a Q&A shortly, get back to doing a few there on a Sunday. And as always, ask any question you want, but don't ask a question that you might not want to hear the answer to. But I will try and do a few of them. And yeah, as I said, look, lots of projects coming up, lots of different events coming up this summer as well. Good few podcasts asked to go on and things like that. So it's going to be busy for those of you who are following. And I hope you enjoy it as always. And I'll be keeping you updated on what goes on here in the Long Acre, what goes on in the world, and always giving you maybe a different perspective. Maybe not always the one you like, but you're following and you're here to listen. So like it or lump it, I'll keep saying it. So have a good evening.
Probably about as scenic as you're going to get anywhere in the world, but put aside around here.